Hi everyone, it's Shakti Durga, and welcome to this episode of the Soul Talk podcast. Each episode is going to feature some of the highlights from live trainings, retreats, online classes, and presentations that I've done around the world. If you find value in it, please text the link to the podcast to a friend or share it with your networks. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Namaste. If ever there was a time for us to dig deep into our spirituality and our spiritual practices, to learn and to grow on that side of who we are, it's now. To do our civic duty means staying home. It means not partaking in the rich array of offerings that our physical worlds normally provide us with. And I feel it's giving us an incredible opportunity. I mean, you wouldn't wish it on anybody. You certainly would never wish any of the suffering and the fear and all the things that are going on. You would not wish that on anybody. But given that we are in the situation, what can we do with it? What can we take from this that will be of value to us, that'll help us get through this time, but also to help us sustain ourselves and grow through a period like this? That's what I'm interested in. So for me, I'm taking the time to be amused actually about how much time I have compared to what I usually have when I'm getting through about the same amount of work that I need to do at home as I would if I wasn't housebound. But I do seem to have a lot of other time on my hands, and I'm watching the play of consciousness as my rational decision-making and my heartfelt yearning has been, this is a time of really powering up spiritually. This is a time where I'm going to do more spiritual practices, different types of spiritual practices. I'll be able to read some of the books and the shastras and the fascinating books from the ancient wisdom that I'd love to be reading but often don't have time to, and to spend a lot more time in meditation. So that's my sense of what's right for me at this time. But then it's really interesting how on some days the resistance I feel to doing any of the above can be quite extraordinary. And at those times, I'm really paying attention, because what I feel that I'm seeing is the sort of separateness or resistance that I didn't know was still inside me, rearing its head, showing itself, so that I can actually deal with it. So what I'm doing is really being rigorous about a morning practice and an evening practice, as well as other spiritual practices during the day. And what I'm finding is that my meditations are going deeper than ever, quicker, and that I still am able to enjoy a range of spiritual practices and also get a lot done in my day. So I feel that this is an opportunity for all of us to sort of climb a spiritual ladder. And so when you think to yourself, right, well, I'm going to go and do that meditation, I'm going to go and do this couple of malas of mantras, and then you find yourself getting distracted, this is a good time to stop and go, oh, look, there is the resistance. There's the part of me that actually doesn't want to change, that wants to live in my ego and wants to stay in a sort of separate state. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lovingly just say, it's okay, come on, we'll do the practice, and then we will do whatever else it is that we thought we might do. So that's my top tip at the moment, is to really just have some commitment to your spirituality, to whatever spiritual practices you like, but also try a couple of different things. Look around, there's plenty on offer. And rather than listening just to talks all the time, which are important because we have to get our minds in a place where we're receptive, but also to do the practices. And that means meditations. It means practices that arise out of the healing traditions. It means mantra. For some, it might be kirtan, or other ceremonies that people do, which bring in such a lot of spiritual energy and also feed nature at the same time. So there's plenty of things. Why not explore and utilize this precious time to advance ourselves vibrationally and spiritually, so that when the world returns to some semblance of normal, it will be a different world for us, because we've taken the time to raise our vibration during this period of time. And we'll find that the world is same but different. There's little differences. It's better than it was before. We feel more empowered than we did before. People seem to like us, respect us more than they did before. And it will all be because we've spent this time loving, respecting, accepting, and trusting ourselves to do our practices, get on board, and change your world. Namaste. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Soul Talk. I hope the podcast has served you in creating a happier and more abundant life. If you've enjoyed the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favourite podcast app. If you'd like to connect with me, head over to shaktidurga.com.